WeUNIK world where all hair is good hair, especially when it's healthy. Tune in and see how we create community through hair care.
Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Lady T
and Yanni G
of WeUNIK World, and today we are here to talk about depression hair. What is depression hair? Depression hair is real. Depression hair is real, and we are going to talk about it. So, I shared a TikTok about 2 years ago when I got online and I let everyone know my hair was severely matted. I had a braid out in for way too long with I didn't have the mental space to properly care for it, and I ended up with huge mats. That is depression hair. When you can barely even get out of bed and get ready for the day, much less worry about a hair care routine. So when that happens, what do you do about it? Any ideas?
Well, I would say to first have grace with yourself and get to a space where you can get out of that mental depression and take care of your hair, because if you, especially because of how important, this is how society is, how important looks are and hair care is for women. If you're not doing that, then it means that there's something really going on within your mind space. Mm-hmm. So I would say the first thing that you do before you even try to come into whatever's going on with your hair, do some self-care, reflect what's going on internally, because your internal will always reflect your external, and that comes into place with your hair. That comes into place with letting yourself go or taking care of yourself. And so if you're in a space where you can't even really take care of your hair, then that probably means that there's something deep going on that needs some healing and adjusting. And then your hair care, to me, kind of comes like third on that list, because there might be a cause for the depression. There might be a cause for the internalized pain that you're going through. And so I always suggest first start with the inside, address what's going on inside, address the external cause or sources of that depression, and then try to work on your hair. That would be my first initial thought.
Yes, I agree. And that's what helped me at that time when I was going through, like, sometimes you don't even know you're depressed, to be quite honest, until you're over it, or until the whatever that depression brings about in your life materializes. You don't even realize it, and then you wake up one day, oh my God, my hair is full of mats, what am I going to do? And then even looking in the mirror and seeing the state of your hair can make the depression even worse. So how do you get out of that? For myself, I did some self-care like you mentioned, and like it got so bad that I would, and I know some of you guys can relate, I would just slick my hair back into a ponytail, into a big afro puff. So the mats that were there already just got worse, and because I was now enforcing them with product and stuff. So I set aside a day to do self-care. And for me, self-care meant detangling for hours and hours and hours. But at the end of that, I felt a little better. I didn't feel like such a loser looking in the mirror at my matted hair. And also, I reached out for help. I talked to people. Like, I'm feeling really overwhelmed. I can't even do my hair. And just hearing other women say, guess what, sis? Me too. Me too. Or, you know, even maybe someone else can do their hair, but they ain't washed their laundry in a minute. Like, just sharing the feelings of being overwhelmed or whatever with peers was immensely helpful. And so I say, like, if you start noticing emotional or mental stress or trauma is impacting your hair routine, some easy things you can do is just like throw your bonnet on. Like when you're inside, just wear your bonnet. So if you do sit on the couch and binge watch something, or can't even think about detangling your hair before you go to bed, at least it won't get more matted and more tangled under that bonnet. You know, throw some water and some oil and some pomade in it, especially if it's in a natural state, just to keep it moisturized. Then throw your bonnet back on. Like, just pour yourself out, reach out for help. You're not alone. Remember, you're not alone, and give yourself grace.
Yeah, and I think it also Depends on who you are, your family structure as well. I've seen a lot of women, especially who are moms in different stages of their life, will put themselves last.
Yes.
And sometimes it's natural even to get upset sometimes when it's like, well, I'm doing this, but it's like, but you as a person have to be able to put yourself first as well. Yeah. Because the sad reality is, if you're not prioritizing yourself, other people aren't going to fill in the blank for you. So sometimes I think as moms, and society has guilted, I believe, women into feeling like as the maternal parent, you're supposed to go, and I do think that sometimes you are supposed to go above and beyond, for your family stuff, but just like you go above and beyond, just don't abandon yourself in the process. Because if your cup is half full, no matter how much you keep pouring into other people, you're not even pouring in the good stuff because you're not even full. Yes. So as a woman, as a mom, as whatever you are in your family structure, it's, yes, the people around you do need you, but so do you. Yes. You need you more than the people outside you need you, because if you are a shell of who you are, because you're giving and giving to everyone else, you're not, at some point, you're not really giving, you're just tossing it out. Because if you abandon yourself in the process, then I feel like that makes it easier to slip into this depressive state. So it's okay also sometimes to say, hey, look, this is my day. I need a break. Not, I don't love you. The world's not going to end if mommy takes 5 hours to herself. Even 30 minutes. The world is going to continue. The world is not going to end. Even, I don't know what your situation is. Some people need a weekend. Some people need a day. Some people need an hour. Some people just need 5 minutes. The world will continue if you take an hour to yourself to just cater to you. Yeah. And in fact, those who are healthy minded will appreciate, number one, the boundary that you set, because everyone respects boundaries. And number two, when you come back renewed, refreshed, not as angry, not as upset, not as emotional, people will see that and appreciate it. But women, I think all of us in general have been taught that your needs are the second. And then if you're a mom, then I don't even know what number you may feel like your needs are, but your needs matter too. And so if you are always used to giving, it's time that you start receiving. And once they say, once your cup overfloweth, that is when you give. But if you are not full and overflowing as a woman, as a mom, as a sovereign being, it's going to be significantly harder for you to keep going at that pace, because eventually you're going to run out. Eventually you're going to run out of that energy, of that all that stuff that you're giving, because you're not holding anything for yourself. So I think on top of the self-care day, just making sure that you're not abandoning yourself for others, because your family, if you're in a healthy system, your family loves you enough to respect that perhaps you do need a day to just heal. Nobody that really loves you and appreciates you wants you to be depressed. And for whatever goals you have in life, you're not going to achieve them as easily from a depressive state. So I think that while you're healing, also remember you need you just as much as, if not more, than everybody else. And if you are a shell of yourself, everyone around you will see it too. Yeah. So that's what I think.
And then even, so yes, moms and wives, we carry a whole lot more than, that's not fair to say, because I don't know what everyone's going through, but we put a lot on ourselves. And when I say the only time, because I ain't never let my hair get like that before, but I found that it was not even just wives and mothers, it was peers, other working women too. As women, like you said, we tend to put ourselves last, regardless of whether we have kids or not, or husbands or not, or whatever. We tend to put ourselves last. Some of my friends I found were feeling guilty that they were even feeling bad about this situation, because they're like, look around, I'm doing better than most. Well, you're still hurting, and it's still resulting in your hair falling out, or your hair thinning, or your hair matting up. Regardless of what our circumstances are, we must put ourselves first. None of us have ever gotten on an airplane where the stewardess stood up there and said, take care of everybody else. And then when you're gasping of air, gasping and about to pass out because you haven't breathed yourself, then put your mask on. All of us have been on airplanes where they say, no, you mask up first and then you help everybody else. So it's like a common thing. A lot of women just feel bad taking care of themselves, just feel bad not doing anything for just themselves. And so I say you have to guard your mental health and your happiness like you would guard the life of somebody you love, because you're literally the only one on the earth that's going to guard it as much as you will guard it. So you can't give it away so easily. And how you're caring for your hair is an indicator of what's going on mentally. And you just have to guard your mental strength. And again, if you're feeling low and you are concerned about the health of your hair, just throw your bonnet on. Get through it, take it back off, and keep it up, keep moving.
And I'll also just interject briefly and just say, also remember that this too will pass.
Amen.
All feelings, good feelings too, bad feelings, sad feelings, all of these things, they will pass. And then don't frame it as I am depressed, because then you take ownership of it. I am in a depressive state.
Yes.
Or like I saw somewhere, I don't know if this is true, but apparently in some Asian language, they say I have sadness, or I have happiness, or I have this or that, rather than I am this. So take away the ownership of it, because sometimes you can be so into it that it even starts to feel good to be sad. It even starts to feel like, well, I don't want to feel good. I want to be depressed. I want to be at this. I want to be that. And so you have to be able to also hold yourself accountable to where you see the signs, because signs will appear. Signs will appear. And if you start to notice it, hold yourself accountable enough to, once you realize, okay, wait a minute, last time I start feeling like this, I start doing this, and then I end up here. So before you go down that hill, it's easier not to do it than it is to pick yourself back up once you're already in that hole. So also, social media is a tool for multiple things. You can find support groups of some kind. You can find communities that, if you are in these spaces, that you can get help. There's anonymous communities even on Reddit that you can type to and get validation and be seen, safe, and heard, and grow. So not only is it important that you put yourself first and that you're accountable, but it's also important that you have some sort of support system, even if it's a virtual Reddit thread. There are people that swear by Reddit. And if you're afraid of, I don't want people to know who I am, Reddit, I don't really go on Reddit, but I know that you can be anonymous and people will share their stories, their truths and things, and then they're in a community. So you don't have to be isolated. It might not be the community that you're expecting. It might not be that, but that's better than nothing. Then once you build that, then maybe you'll go to some events. Maybe you'll meet some people. Maybe you'll run into somebody that you haven't seen in forever, and then they'll connect you to something else. And so it's just giving yourself the grace to not go down that rabbit hole, and then find communities that will support you, and other people. Sometimes it's just good to even know that you're not alone. You're not the only one. And then once you realize that you're not the only one, then perhaps someone who already was there can help pull you out of it. There's books. If you're not ready enough to go to Reddit, there's books. There's people on YouTube that were in your same situation. Now, because of technology, with all the information, you can choose to use it as a tool for healing, because anything you need help with, there is somebody on a video that has experienced the same thing. And chances are, if you find that person on YouTube, even the comments of those videos will have people that you can connect with and resonate. So not only do you have to hold yourself accountable before you even get down there, it's easier to do that than to wait. And then once you realize that, find a safe space where you can express what's going on with you. And granted, there are trolls every once in a while, that happens everywhere, even in real life. But once you discover that you're starting to trickle down, then you can also, bounce back and find communities that will see you, that will keep you and make you feel safe, and then you won't be in it alone. And perhaps they can even help you get out of that in the first place.
Yeah. And speaking of videos, one thing I like to do if I feel myself getting into a funk is to get present, because I find out typically, if I'm not feeling good about something, it's because I'm dwelling on something that's happened in the past, or I'm worried about something that may happen in the future. But in the present moment, I'm good. So stay present. And one of the ways I stay present sometimes is I allow myself an hour to go on YouTube or something and watch stuff that just brings me joy, stuff that makes me laugh. I love to sing. Singing makes me feel wonderful. So if I'm feeling down or super stressed, or I have a bunch of negative something, anything running through my body, I will turn on the karaoke machine and sing, or dance, or watch fails, just anything to focus your mind on something that brings you joy. Dance, go walk in the grass, go garden, anything that just takes your mind off of whatever is stressing you out, so that you can get back to a decent space where, combing your hair out doesn't appear to be such a challenge anymore because you're no longer focused on whatever was stressing you out. So, yeah, and that's a quick fix that can help too. So that's it. Depression hair is a real thing. Don't feel any kind of way about yourself other than, this is surmountable, and I will overcome it, and I'm going to start overcoming it right now. Even if the only thing you do right now is focus on something that makes you laugh. And remember, this too shall pass. And keep it pushing. You made it this far. And that's it. Thank you. Be sure to check us out. Like and subscribe. We do offer self-paced classes on WeUNIK World. And yeah, we're here to support you. If you have any questions, comments, you want to share your stories or whatever, put them in the comments. We do read them. We try to respond to everything. And yeah, just love you all. And would you have anything you want to add?
Nope.
All right. So peace out. I'm Lady T.
And I'm Yanni G.
And we'll see you next time.